Well, good afternoon. We have a beautiful day in Colorado in paradise here, don't we?
Yes.
Yep. Just another day or so of 70-degree weather, and I think it's supposed to turn down. But thank you so much for being here today. This is quite the honor. As I mentioned at the outset, I've kind of been an admirer from afar. I think we've had we know a lot of people, we've been in a lot of places in common, but we haven't been able to sit down face to face. So thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me for this. That's great.
Absolutely. I'm sorry you're feeling under the weather here, but at least it gives us a little time to sit here and chat. And we do both have, as we mentioned off air, we have a priority here to make sure we're done before Game 3 of the World Series.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
Unfortunately, we're on opposite sides of this, but
Right,
I totally get it. There are a couple Japanese players I've heard of on the
right.
Dodgers. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dodgers, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course,
Great.
the last time the Yankees won the World Series, one of their great heroes was Hideki Matsui.
Yes, he got MVP, I think,
Yeah, he
back
was
then.
MVP. He had
Yeah,
six RBIs in that last game and
yeah.
got MVP, and he was known as Godzilla.
Yes, he's a Godzilla.
Yep.
He's famous.
Yeah, no, an all-time favorite in Yankees lore.
Right. It's great.
And we had what's his name? We had a Japanese pitcher who was good. Tanaka. That's right.
And then, oh yeah, Tanaka. Yeah, Maku. Yes, yeah, he's really famous too.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we've
Mhm.
got our share of Japanese
Yeah,
players.
it's
Yeah,
good.
I guess the ones the Dodgers have are okay too. So, well, that's good. Well, hey, Alexa, it's an honor to be able to talk to you here. What's always amazed me about you is how prolific you are. And, we can talk more about some of the things you've done in the past, but I did want to start at least with what you've been doing in 2024, which just kind of blew me away. I mean, at first I'm like, oh my gosh, goodness, she's doing the whole lead man, lead woman thing. I got the lead person challenge anyway,
Yeah.
which for those who don't know involves all the races up in Leadville, the bike races and the running races. And I mean, that's a major feat as it is. And then it's like, oh, wait a second. She's already off running a 200-mile race over in Italy, and it's no joke of a race. And then I turned around and she's running the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim. I'm like, when does this Energizer Bunny ever run out of energy here, right?
Yeah, this year was a kind of turned out to be a big year, a lots of events. But as I'm getting older and just do it now, type of mentality. So having a level 100 run as a 10th time, I decided to add another challenge. And, so I did a leg challenge as my third time. And I said my last time.
Yeah.
But
All right.
yeah, the reason I said that is the mountain biking is just so hard for me. So, but I made it and I even had fun this year because I trained really, a lot
It makes a
this
difference when you
year.
train, right?
Yeah, it was making much different. And I made my PR, my 100-mile bike ride. And
Nice.
then, yeah. So, and, a couple friends joined me doing this. And then that was a great year. Then, 200 miles in Italy. That was my second time. I did it last year as well. The
Right.
last year was I'm sort of going to, finish the race and see what's all about. 150-hour cutoff and 200 miles. And then so I finished it. But this year I had a certain goal for myself. And time wise, and I wanted to be in the first in my age group, which I didn't do it last year was the second time. So I made my major international, age group podium,
Nice.
made it. So that was
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Now, the pictures you posted were just, I'm looking at this race like, whoa, this is a for real race. And it's called, and I'm probably mispronouncing it right, the Tour de Géants, or how do you say
Tour de Jan.
it? Géant. Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm not good with French,
But
but it's
it was,
Italian, right? Yeah.
yeah, but it was amazing. That race is, you got 150 out to finish, but you could get some break, they carry your duffel bag, for every 50 kilometers.
Right.
That's big, life base. You stay there. whatever you want, you just need to, it's all your decision, how long you want to stay, if you want to sleep, if you don't want to sleep, if you want to eat, it's all your choice, right? As
Yeah.
long as you finish by on time. So it's a lot of decision making and lots of strategies and stuff like that. So it's quite challenge.
Yeah.
You like 100 miles, you only have 30 hours. You go, drink, eat, go, right? But this race, you have certain times. Sometimes you stay in one spot 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. You stay, sleep, shower, stuff like that. So if you're taking too much time, you might be able to finish, but if you have a goal time to finish,
Right.
that's all it's up to you. So
Yeah.
really, really test your everything.
Yeah.
So,
Were those
but
the decisions you're talking about, or were there some other decisions you had to come up with as well?
yeah, it's like what to do at that moment,
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Interesting wrinkle. Yeah.
yeah, it's great. Yeah. I love it.
Right. Oh, very cool. And it looked like, though, I mean, the terrain was tough. I think you had some snow out there. I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember. It looked muddy.
Snowstorm.
Yeah, lots of challenges.
Yeah, lots of times snowstorm and rain at the beginning and really hot in one day and snowstorm with the wind and yeah, it was all kind of stuff.
Yeah. What kind of elevation gain did you have there?
Elevation gain,
Yeah.
it was about, let's see, what is the total elevation gain? It's like maybe 70 some thousand.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So
total.
that's
Yeah.
real
So,
too. Yeah.
yeah, it's all in kilometers and meters, but I think it's about 70 something.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Why
Yeah.
was that race on your radar?
What's up?
Why was that race on your radar? How did you end up picking that one?
Oh, um, you mean what is the race for me? I mean, what
Yeah. Yeah.
race?
Yeah. Yeah. Why did you choose that one?
Oh, that was last year I did that first time.
Yeah.
And I never ran a 200-mile race.
Right.
So this race is sort of among my friend and was kind of talking about it. And then I've attempted once before with a couple of other friends from here.
Uh-huh.
Then that year, my mom got sick and passed away. So I went all the way to Geneva and to do a race. Then I got a call and I have to buy a ticket and go back to Japan. So I just had an unfinished business there.
Hmm.
So then last year I decided, okay, I'm going to do this, to closure,
Yeah.
about my mom's thing and just me, myself. So that's what I did. Then after I did it once, you feel like it once is enough. Of course, when you do once, like, well, there's more to it, more
Right.
to improve.
Yeah.
Yeah, friends said, oh, let Junko-san, let's do it again. Like, sure. So I'll have a new goal, I'm not gonna waste the time at the aid station and doing that. So those things, challenge basically, something different.
Okay. Nice. For
Yeah,
sure. All right.
yeah.
Yeah, and then most people I think would be happy to be in their rocking chair for a bit to recover from a race like that. And then next thing I look up and you're in the Grand Canyon.
That's another thing. It is one of my bucket list stuff to do. And I had an opportunity to go and join a couple of friends doing it. And so I made a arrangement quite a while ago, maybe in summertime or sometime. I say, oh, after TDG, I do have 3 weeks, so I could do this. So I did.
Right.
It was hard. It was really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really hard in a hot day.
Yeah. What stood
Yeah.
out to you in doing that?
Yeah, it was like a 98 degrees in canyon, something like that.
Ooh.
We really hot that day.
Yeah. That reminds me of all the folks who were doing Javelina this weekend in the heat.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
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 That was didn't turn out well for everybody. Some people survived, but
Right.
so what stood out for you when you were doing the Grand Canyon? What was the highlights for you there?
Um, this one was I decided to stay together with the two other friends
Right.
and stay together and have fun. But when we can run, we run. So we had like maybe a time estimated between like 16 hours and 20 hours ish.
Right.
But we're more thinking about maybe 16 hours, but ending up at 21 hours, And so we're like, um, beautiful scenery and everything, but then quite a challenge going downhill, uphill, and just be, just having fun actually, to be honest, for
Right.
me. Yeah. It's not a race. We just stay together and stop and have fun, and have a lunch here and there. And so, yeah, it was nothing to, like, oh, I want to be finishing this time. Nothing like that. It's
Yeah.
more mental. Yeah, stay together with friends.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's lots of runners and hikers that day.
Oh,
I mean,
was there? Okay. Yeah. No,
yeah.
it can get busy there sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope.
So it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. So, and then what else you got coming up this year? Is it over, or you still got more challenges coming?
Yeah, actually, this coming weekend, I am supposed to do New York Marathon. So,
Right.
yeah, right now I am, but I got this cold, so we'll see how I
Minor inconvenience.
minor. So hopefully, but since let's see, Friday did I work out? Yeah, Friday I did. Saturday, Sunday, today's Monday. I haven't done anything, so um. more than likely, I'll just run. I was gonna go for like, okay, I have a certain time, I wanted
Right.
to finish, but we'll just have fun, I guess.
I think you have a certain amount of fitness in the bank here at this point. I think you'll be fine even missing a couple days here. So, have you done New York before? Oh, you have done New York before. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, quite a bit, like maybe 12 times or something in the
oh,
past.
you know what? I hate you. I mean, I ran it back in, let's see, 81 was the first time I ran it, 87. And then I got into it in 2017 and ran it. I've tried every single year since then because I grew up in New York. I would love to go back,
Oh,
and I never
okay.
get in. So that's why I say I hate
Wow.
you. I can't believe you get in all those times.
Yeah, yeah. I started my first one is probably, I don't know, 2001, no, something like that. It's, time. And there's some year I didn't do it, but they have a codified time, for the age group.
Right.
But then mostly I get in with that. I meet the codification and they can guarantee you entry, something like this.
Gotcha. Well, that's a better way to do
So
it than I've been trying to get in through the lottery. I'm too slow for that.
so it's been a while. Last time I did at least 5 years or something like that. So it'll be fun.
Oh, it's always fun there.
Yeah, it's always fun.
The
Just
energy
a
in New York is just amazing.
Yeah, just an excuse to go to New York City. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, you shouldn't need an excuse, but that is a good one. Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's good. Well, hopefully it'll happen at the same time as the Yankees victory parade. You can share
Oh,
it.
right. No,
No,
no.
I might be right for that. All right. Well, good. Well, hey, what an exciting year you've had.
Yeah, it was when I look back and there's, oh my God, there's lots of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, Leadville series was quite a bit of time consuming, you need a lot of time to train. And mostly I focus on mountain biking. So almost every weekend I went up there and, ride and run. So
Right.
it was a hard challenge, but it was great,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned before we came on, I had a disappointing run at Leadville this year too. But as they say, if you have to enjoy the process. And
Yes.
I absolutely did. I had a fantastic summer. I was up in the mountains constantly running trails or climbing 14ers, whatever. I'm not on the bike, but still I was out there all the time. And I look back and say, well, the race didn't turn out great, but hey, you know what? I had a fantastic summer. So
Yes.
I
Yeah,
imagine you did too.
definitely. Yeah. The process is really always fun,
Yeah,
and yeah, so this year was great year. I had some friends to train with too. I
right.
remember last time I did a Litman, most of it was training by myself. I drive up there. um, ride a bike for, 50 miles, and then I put shoes on, run till sun goes down. But I think I did it mostly by myself that time. But this time I had a plenty of friends to do that, and it was great. Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I would go up during the week, and so not many people I know can do that. But you know what? I would meet people up there on the trails. I mean,
Exactly.
I got to meet all
Becomes
sorts of new people, which was very fun too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. How
Yeah,
would you compare this year, what you did with back in 2015, you did the whole Lead Man series and you did the Grand Slam of hundreds.
right.
For those who don't know, that's Wasatch Front, Vermont, Leadville, and Western states.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so how would you compare these 2 years here, besides the fact that obviously you're 9 years older?
Right. I was thinking about that year. I was really fit and, my recovery was really fast that time,
Right.
and but this year I'm getting older, over 60. My recovery time was just not that quite fast as it used to be. So I was getting frustrated myself. Used to be like I run, 100 miles, and a couple of days later, I go to work, and I used to teach a lot of, group exercise classes and stuff. I got
Right.
up and do this. But this year, I need at least 3 days to recover, not doing anything much.
Right.
And but as I'm, going through this, I learned it's okay actually. It's okay to,
Right.
take a time to recover. Then if you need it 2 days, 3 days, then you start it back again. I mean, you need to train smart with your body.
No, without a doubt.
Yeah, so I kind of started to learning more about, body changes as you age, So that was a big difference. And my mind, I was telling my friend, well, I really need to finish bike, and I know I can finish run, but I need to do this. So it was kind of same kind of approach to 2015 and 14. But I was more fear about mountain bike this year because you get more fear on the downhill stuff when
Yeah.
when you're getting older.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so I was really worried about it. But at the end, it worked out good. This is like my best, my PR for the 100-mile bike. It's with, 2014, 15, that time. So I'm like, oh, I did it good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I had a little bit more time to enjoy this time with a little bit more relax, because of my age and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's okay. I need to recover a little bit more,
Right. Right.
Yes, yeah. So I was a little bit more sort of laid back in a way. And then this time I had a little bit different missions because, Leadville has been so much to me, meaning to me. And as a 10th under my run, get a big buckle, and I
Right.
really wanted to go for it. And then a celebration with that, with the lead man, the challenge would be nice. Then I decided to some way to give back to the Leadville. Then I started thinking about, oh, Leadville Foundation, Legacy Foundation. Why
Right.
don't I raise the money for them to give back to them for something, being thank you, And so I did that. So that was great, part of my challenge for this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. No,
Yeah.
and the Legacy Foundation is awesome. So that's
Yeah. It's
believe
awesome.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad I got to be, doing something for them.
Right.
So, yeah, it
Yeah.
was
Yeah. It is a relationship that you and I both have with Leadville. A lot of other folks do, of course, where it's, they talk about Leadville family and you definitely feel like it and you want to help out your family.
exactly,
It's
yeah,
easy to be tied into that all the time. And
right.
yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah, my first 100 mile was Leadville 100. That was right after my cancer episode.
Right.
So from there, it's always come back to Leadville one after another. So it's pretty much my journey, ultra journey started from Leadville. And then kind of chapter, with the
Right.
10th. Yeah. So it was perfect scenario for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was my first 100 too, but mine was a lot more spread out than yours because my first Leadville was in 1992. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's
there were
that's
there were only
it.
175 of us in the race back then.
Oh
So
my God.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you could
Wow.
basically like enter probably the day of the race too.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah,
Well, even when I first time, I didn't have to do that, like quickly. You could still get in.
right.
O- Opens up a registration and like, oh, think about it. And then I was okay. Sign
Yeah,
up.
I know it's
Wow.
crazy. People all want to do this now.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's amazing, but that's great.
yeah, yeah. It's good. It's interesting to see how many crazies there are out in the world now.
Yes.
More like
Yeah,
people wanting to push themselves though, and
exactly. Yeah.
that's the amazing thing. But so this was a leisurely year compared to 2015, where you also threw in all those 100 milers. But as you mentioned before, you had a cancer diagnosis or two
Yeah.
thrown in the middle of that. And has that all that given you a little more purpose out there?
Yes, definitely. My purpose was to first 100-mile Leadville 100 was to, get back to, closure for the cancer, and then needed some physical challenge to accomplish, beat the cancer type of thing.
Right,
So from that point, I like to do every year sort of a little bit different challenge each year, So I've been doing this, add a little bit. First time was that just the Leadville 100. The second year was a couple of different things. So I did a Leadville and, Grand Slam at the same time and stuff like that. So,
right.
yeah, it's very, very, very meaningful for me and I have a purpose and to achieve. So it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you can show others what they're capable of doing or other
exactly.
purpose.
The challenge, you can
Yeah.
do it,
Right.
and I'm older and I'm a two-time cancer survivor, but still I'm, doing what I can do. And you know, and I coach as well. So,
Right.
I have a couple of my age, ladies and it's been great. We know about our body. So
Right.
just go with the what capable to, up to here is really, the key for the ultra race. And so, yeah, it is really meaningful for me purpose wise. And that's kind of like my passion is to, giving some advice to, my athletes that I coach or my friends, spread out the motivation and just being healthy, changing people's life.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, I know that you ran New York City Marathon like literally like right after your last chemo out there.
Right. 1 month later.
Yeah, I mean, how challenging was that for you?
Well, that time I was really, high fitness level. I was teaching a lot of classes. I was kind of young and I ran like 5 marathon a year, stuff like that. So I was kind of a little bit different kind of a shape than now.
Hmm.
Right now, I can go slow and long, whatever
Right.
I could do for it. But
Yeah,
that time it's more marathon, like, time, time, time. So I was pretty fit on that. But after this cancer deal, I got, mastectomy and everything, chemotherapy. I had to go through major change for my body stuff. So 1 month later, the last chemo, and I already had an injury. So like, well, why don't I just do that and just don't think about the time, enjoy. So with a couple friends. So I started out with that time I had no hair, and I have some pictures,
right,
and out there and social media stuff. But I had no hair. I was pretty skinny and pale with all those treatment, but I felt great. And then, but a couple friends said, uh, night before the race, hey Junko, I think you are still, not ready. And what if you get sick during run? I said, don't worry about it. I know better. If I get sick, I'll take a train back to my
right.
hotel,
Yeah,
don't worry. And I'm not pushing. I'm just enjoying. Then I convinced my friend, it's okay. So then I started to go and then I call, friends a couple of times and people handed to me some candies, and some like a lady gave me like a donut, along the way. So I
right.
ate those and totally, totally enjoy. So yeah, it was totally kind of enjoyable. And then my time wasn't that awful. Well, 4 hours and 30 minutes or something like that.
Right,
So
right.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
it
I
was
mean, New York is great for that. I mean, when I ran it in 2017, I was coming back from a surgery and I wasn't in
Mhm.
great shape, and so I just said I'm going to go have a good time also. And what I
Yeah,
did is I must have high-fived 1,000 little kids in Brooklyn. I just
yes.
ran right along the edge, just high-fived all the kids, and just had a
Yep.
great time. The energy in
Yeah.
New York is so good for that.
Yeah. So yeah, I did that too. And high five everybody, just not even looking at my time, watch, and just
Right.
go run. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did it. It was another closure to my, chemo thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
One of the quotes, or a couple quotes I've seen from you, and I'm paraphrasing here, was something like, why not do it now? Because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Right,
I really like that a
exactly.
lot. It's a great attitude to have.
Yeah, that's exactly what I feel and what you know, when somebody asks me. Yeah, I mean, I thought I'm a healthiest person in the world. I'm a fit and blah blah. And all of a sudden you get cancer. And I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah.
What's wrong? Doctors say, well, bad luck. I'm like, okay, you know,
Right.
no, bad luck. Okay, bad luck will happen. So
Yeah.
I must challenge what I can do. So even this year, all those things I put in my calendar, I thought, well, this will be a good year, and because I'm still capable to do it. And if
Yep.
next year, if I won't be able to do all of those, just cut in half, do
Right.
what I can do. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen next year, but this year was sort of a big chapter, sort of. I don't want to say end of a period, but just sort of a big chapter change.
Right.
I'm just gonna still do it next year. I
Oh, I'm
still
sure you
need
will.
to,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I'm waiting to get into hard rock for 10 years, right?
Right. It's got to happen. You've
Yeah.
had pretty good luck
So,
getting into other races. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Or, if I say, like if I have a 500 tickets, what's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Yeah, no, why not? No, I think it's a fantastic attitude to have, though, because it doesn't even have to be cancer. I mean, I might walk outside and get hit by a bus, so that's
Exactly.
why I'm glad I've done the things I have. I mean, I've done an awful lot of traveling the last few years, and it's like,
Mhm.
well, I want to do it while I can, I
Exactly.
mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of my attitude.
Yeah. Now, you came across the sport though relatively late. I mean, you were never, I mean, it really seems to me like Junko's been around forever. I mean, you're out there all over the place, and I just thought, oh yeah, she's been, she's a veteran. She's been out there, but really, you didn't get started till late. In fact, when you were growing up, you weren't an athlete at all. You had no idea,
Oh,
no thoughts about being an athlete. So, it's kind of amazing what you've been able to build up and do it so quickly in a way, and then you stay healthy. I mean, it's been a great part of your lifestyle.
yeah. When I was a kid, I never liked physical activities, and was more like to read a book and play indoor stuff. But I think I talked to some of the interview stuff, but junior high, my P grade got really bad. And if you are not skipping your class, you show up every time, you should get second 2 out of 5 scale. But I one day I got it 1. I'm like, why? Why did I get 1? So I guess inside of me, without knowing, I think I have a little more like what you call it, challenging, spirits inside,
Right?
which I didn't know about it. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna challenge my PE teacher, show him what I can do. So then I started to, doing some stuff, and I had a good time at like playing basketball. So I started playing basketball a little bit, and then by high school, you know, I I was playing basketball with the team, and I was pretty good,
Yeah.
time in a small high school, team. So I had a really good time, and then that made me um kind of like a train my like my mental stage, and
Yeah.
you gotta practice, and you need to practice like 10 to show 8, so you gotta more practice. So I always talk to myself, don't, just go back to the beginning. Even you've done enough. You don't want to say, oh, I can do this. No, no, no time, I can do this. No, you just always be humble and just start it over. So I was practice basketball with that. And I think those time, I guess my mind, stuff got a pretty strong. Kind of prove myself if you make an effort, you
Right.
know, see the results, you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of prove myself in that aspect. So, and I decided to come here and study in the university, more like exercise physiology, exercise science. And so that got me to, you know, who I am right now.
Yeah. So why did you decide to come to the US to do that? I mean, obviously you could have stayed in Japan. You lived in a beautiful part of Japan there, up in Hokkaido, the North Island there. I mean, you could have been running up in the mountains there. Why did you choose the US?
Yeah, well, back then, I'm pretty old lady. So back then, when I was in my teens and 20s, and more like a in that society, Japanese woman is more like, go to school, high school, junior high, or you go to college, then you work for few years and get married and just have kids and stay home, right? So
Right.
those are sort of typical. But I did not want to do that. And I just wanted to do something different than other people do. And I just kind of wanted to get out of my situation, I guess, doing
Ah,
something, you know, something unusual, but testing my ability of what I can do. And then so I went to homestay program and I stayed in California for a month, like staying with the host family. So that time I kind of had a good time. And then also I realized I don't know how much, I mean, I realized how much I can speak, communication, zero.
right.
All the years I study, it's like on the paper. It's like I can't, communicate with those people.
Yeah.
So I started to practice my own way. I found my own way to practice, and I decided, okay, one day I'm going to go US. I'm going to go to university. I'm going to study, and then so it was my lifetime challenge. I wanted to, get out of my box, typical
Yeah.
Japanese woman box, and I wanted to do what I can do for my life, myself, and hopefully I don't get any like help from you know family or anything, like just financial stuff. I made some money before I come here, just do my own and see what I can do.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was kind of like, so my challenge got started back then, I guess.
Right.
Hmm.
No, that's a huge challenge. Obviously, going to a new culture, new language. I mean, um, it's got to be tough to learn English from Jap. I mean, I having been in Japan last fall, I can't imagine learning Japanese, so I can't imagine what it's like going the other way. So, and you settled here in Colorado, and but you still didn't find running for a while. You were busy doing a lot of other stuff, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, I was actually running for just fitness purpose, like losing a weight, or some kind just as a fitness purpose. Like I did a lot of 10Ks and stuff like that. But then, let's see, I think 2000 one-ish, a long time ago. Yeah. I was teaching a lot of classes at the health club. And then one of my friends who come to my class, she told me she's going to go to Boston Marathon. And I'm like, oh, what about it? And then you need to go qualify. Then you can enter the Boston Marathon. So I got all those kind of things. I'm like, oh, I go. So I go with you. Like, well, first we'll have to qualify. So let's go to Tucson Marathon. So, okay. So we ran Tucson Marathon. We both got qualified. Then went to Boston Marathon. From then, I got hooked on the running a marathon distance
Yeah.
each time. And how difficult it was. I made a first Tucson Marathon like 3:27 or something.
That's a
And I could not
first
break
timer.
it for like at least 3 years. I could not run faster than that. So I started training and it was so hard to break the wall.
Yeah.
20, yeah. So I like that challenge. So then I was doing a lot of marathon for a long time until, yeah, I got a cancer. Then started, my 100-mile journey started.
Right.
So yeah, it's quite a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, it took some time, but yeah, you're like say relative newbie out there.
Right. Yeah. You have to
Yeah.
be new.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And you're not so old.
Oh.
I got you by a few years there.
Yeah, my first 100 mile was 2011 in Leadville. So
Yeah.
that's my, so yeah.
Very cool. That's awesome. Well, one thing that's noticeable whenever you're out there running a race is you have a huge fan contingent out there. People know you, like say, it seems like you've been around forever, but even though it hasn't been that long, but like say, you've got a huge fan contingent. You've got huge bunch of people who go out and get on top of mountains and do burpees and push-ups and
Yes,
Junko Mountain Training. I mean, where did
exactly.
that start from?
Well, as I coach and I teach, a lot of exercise classes and I personal train, so my occupation. And then, one day I was like group of friends and, oh, let's take a video of doing this stuff and Junko Mountain Training anytime and anytime, anywhere. So we're gonna have to say that. So we
Right,
started doing and posting just for fun, and people started liking it, and people started asking me, "Can I be on that video?" So let's see on the whole pass. So those things turn out to be like some kind of regularly I was posting. It's just to make a fun approach to be out there hiking, running, and
right.
friends. It's just one of those fun moment. And
Absolutely. No, it's
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. Of course that, some promotional things for my business too, but
Right,
it's mostly for the with the friends and have fun, like people wanted to join us, one of those. So
right.
one of those, yeah.
Yeah, have people tried to outdo themselves trying to do Junko mountain training in the most extreme places? I mean, is somebody like been at the South Pole or on top of
Right. That
you
would be nice.
the top of something just bizarre? Have they actually had like a competition so you could do it in the craziest place?
That's really fun to do this thing. So
Right.
yeah.
So I know for a while you were down at the Colorado Athletic Club down at the Tabor Center. Are you still working down there, or are you somewhere else?
No, actually, after the COVID, and I left. I was there maybe another 6 months or something like that. But the end of the year, I left. Now I do coaching for the ultra running coaching,
Right.
and then, probably a half, and then I will still train my client one-on-one or virtual, and I go to the club form, which is kind of downtown personal training studio, and I have a client there. And I take a long-term client, short-term client, and some running clients if they're in town, if they want to train with me, I could do that. And then I do virtual training as well. So pretty much hybrid stuff. Then the coaching, I do my own too. At the same time, I will do I'm a one of the boundless coach as well.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. You are
So
keeping busy when not doing your running, that's for sure.
try to keep it myself busy.
Yeah.
And, I'm still running myself. So, it's really great that come to Leadville. I do my own camp, for my athletes that I coach.
Right.
So I put it out there and then 30 days of camping with the headlights on, running, night run, stuff like this. So, it's really great. Turn out to be like,
Ah,
really great training. Yeah.
oh, I probably need to join your camp. That
Yes.
sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I like it. I like doing it. And then, my athletes can meet each other so they can have a little bit more information in each other, make a friends.
Right.
So I love doing it. Yeah.
No, I've had groups where we've gotten together and sometimes go on a road trip, so to speak. Go
Yeah.
to the city and get together. Rent a house and yeah, building a camaraderie is great.
That's really, that's the thing, about ultra running is you meet people and you run, share the trail. And because ultra is long time you're out there, you see that all the time in different people, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. And then Leadville, 30 hours out there and running and see all those friends and meet each other. And when I did a 200-mile race, I run into these people from another country and we don't really communicate with the language, but we see each other and then, we're on the
right.
same pace. And at the end, we become friends.
Yeah,
It's just amazing. I mean, people have a life. Okay, I'm doing this right now. And then another side of the world, there's a lot of people doing their life. Kind of
right.
make me realize that people there's so many people, their life is keep going as my life is going. It's just kind of amazing.
No, absolutely. And I've always said the thing about ultra running is everybody's on the same side. Everybody wants to see each other succeed. Unlike, say, basketball, which you played and I used to coach, where
Yeah.
I just wanted to kill everybody in the other sideline. I didn't want them to succeed at all. But yeah, ultra running is more of the positive community, right?
Yeah, positive community. Yeah, I love that. People there really friendly.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
yeah.
Where do you get your positivity from?
My positivity. Well,
Yeah,
I guess the maybe my history of, cancer stuff, being humble and playing basketball, learning, like if you make an effort and you became, or you show the results. For myself, all those like one after another things are piling up and mostly I like what I do, running, and I know it's painful sometimes, but I love the pain.
right,
It's really strange, but if you're an ultra runner, you understand. You're having painful moment, you're throwing up and you just feel like dying. But I love the moment.
right.
You feel like you're alive, basically. You know, Coming through the cancer, the fear stuff, and this is great. I'm running and just throwing up and, you know, just be alive.
Yeah,
It's great. So and, you need to like it what you do, and you need to have the purpose why you're doing this, that strong purpose. So those things makes you positive.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so here is an interesting point, maybe, is that, you talk about you feel alive when you're going through the pain of running an ultra.
right,
Kids these days, some kids have found that because of their depression, whatever, they actually do things like they cut themselves.
right,
And, for a lot of us, we're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? But the explanation you get from these kids is that, like, they feel alive when they have that kind of pain. Now, obviously, we'd much rather see it happen in a more positive way, but
right.
uh,
Yes.
I kind of relate what you're saying to
Maybe
what these kids are doing by cutting themselves. Yeah.
maybe that's too extreme, but it
Right.
might be related to that. I never thought about that.
Yeah, no, I'd never thought of it either. It just kind of came to me while you were talking, but it's like
Yeah,
such a strange concept to you or me, but a lot of
right.
other people look at what we do and say, well, that's a strange concept too.
Right. Yeah. So like sometimes when I'm cheering people, for example, like or pacing people, and they are having a hard time dragging their legs, and I'm like, oh, come on, you can do it. But I feel really like, oh, I wish I'm there. I
Yeah.
it's like I want to share the pain. It's strange concept, but you know, but next moment when you finish, when you step onto the cross finish line, life changes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like with all the pain, you cross the finish line, you're totally like different life is there waiting for you.
Well, it's like now you have a good story to go tell, right?
Exactly. So if you experience that once, you get hooked on it.
Yeah.
You have a hard time, hard training. you're dragging your legs, your knees having pain, and you're throwing up, but you see the finish line over there. I'm gonna cross, you cross. Congratulations, you finish. Then you're like, life is like, you know. So
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
want a lot of people to experience that, you know.
It would be good. I've
Yeah,
always said, during the pandemic, I said, I wish everybody in the world was at least a marathoner because, something always goes wrong in a long
right,
race. And what you do is you put your head down and you just say, you know what, I'm just going to get through it. I'm going to get to that finish line. And I
right,
wish we had that same attitude with the pandemic instead of making such a big stink about we can't do this. You're telling us to get a vaccine. You tell me to put on a mask, whatever. And it's like, you know what? If we just all put our head down and just like move to the finish line would have been a lot easier.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh well. You mentioned things like throwing up. Let's get more to the nitty gritty of hundreds. Do you often have stomach issues out there? What do you do you have particular nutrition that you do to try to get yourself through these races?
well, usually you hydrate well, eating well. You do nibble, little by little, you eat and sip, 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 small dosage.
Right.
And then maybe like every hour you need to, consume maybe a couple hundred calories, it depends on your size and stuff. But my body, I know that usually if I go about 50 mile, my body started to fatigue or something happen and I always have dry heaves
Hmm.
no matter what,
Yeah.
I will have it, you know? So I kind of learn over the years. And I don't really throw up the food itself, but I just get dry heaves, so like always. And so my strategy to eat well in the first 50 miles, make sure you have enough food every hour you consume, 200 plus calories, and hydrate well. Then when dry heat started, it's really hard to eat or drink. So you just do best you can. And I kind of know I could hold it, I could go through it after you just go through the throwing up dry heaves. You have to keep eating too, but
Yeah.
uh until it gets over and you just have to keep going. And I know my body will last probably last 40 miles without food so far if I throwing up and I can crawl to finish. So I will try to go beforehand, before my dry heap started. I will try to make sure I eat well and stuff like that.
Wow.
And when it's happened. So, you throw up, you still eat, and you throw up again and still eat. You just have to keep, doing this. And
Yeah.
I try different food, but I think it's just a matter of fatiguing and then bouncing, all those mixed up fatigue piling up, and then I usually dry hips.
Yeah.
So no matter what I do, I usually have the dry hips. So I kind of keep that in my mind. It's going to happen anyway. So it makes me feel not like an unusual event.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you've already baked it into your game plan, so to speak, I guess it's okay. I mean, certainly, for a lot of us, if something like that happens, it's kind of like, oh, this couldn't be worse timing here,
Right.
But I'm thinking 40 miles. I mean, that might be, 10 hours, give or take. That's
Yeah.
a long time to go without eating and no
Yeah.
calories. Wow.
Yeah, maybe a little sip of water, and then I try to eat sometimes, but when you're having dry heaves, you just eat and you just kind of get it. So I'm sure I'm going slower that moment, but yeah, it's tough. But then I don't know what to do with these things. So I try everything, medicine stuff too, and but then always come with it with my 100 miles.
Hmm.
So I just have to accept.
Yeah, you just it starts happening. You say, "Hey, buddy, I remember you. Come on along for the run."
Right? Yes. So for me, dry heaves and sleepiness, sleepy head, these two things always come together.
Really? So you get really sleepy during the
I
latter.
get so sleepy.
Really?
So usually I stay off the caffeine. I love drinking coffee stuff, right? So I stay out of coffee. I do decaf, and try not to drink green tea as well, and decaffeinate myself for a few months before I go into the 100-mile race. And it works somehow, but not always.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do my best.
So how do you combat that during the race, though, when you start having the overwhelming feeling you want to take a nap?
I'm good at a sleepwalk.
Oh, okay. That's a valuable trait then.
Yes, I'm not any faster, but I'm keep moving with sleeping, and actually never fell hard with that. There's some close call when I'm going like this, and then almost a cliff or like drop off, like wake up or
Yeah,
like
that should wake you up, hopefully,
yeah,
right?
yeah, like ooh, I
Yeah.
pour water myself, but when I get sleepy, I get sleepy.
Wow.
So hard. So all my pacer knows about it. So I would just keep talking to them, I'm getting sleepy, I'm getting sleepy, So they try to talk to me, but yeah, so
Their instructors keep poking you with their poles, right?
actually, yeah, hitting myself, like just
Right.
So it was the quite a bit of challenge for the 200-mile race as well.
Oh, I'm sure it was much worse there. Yeah.
Yeah, like got sleepy in the middle of the night and just sleepwalk, and I'm dreaming about something and I'm walking. And I just almost like trip and fell, but I catch myself. And so repeatedly. So I have some company to go with and started talking to them,
Right.
and that helped a little bit, but we all get sleepy. So somehow, you need to sleep somewhere, but
Right. Right. First is when you start dreaming about sleeping.
it is really hard.
Right. Yeah, no, that's my superpower. I can stay up for a long time.
I'm so envious. Yeah.
Well, on the other hand, I don't sleep well anyway, so
Oh,
yeah. So, um, yeah, it has pluses and minuses there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like only one day can I stay up all night,
Right. Like
But
a little kid. Yep.
yeah, sun comes up and I energize. So I always run to finish when sun comes up.
Yep. Yep. I
Yeah,
think we all are. It's always, I mean, when you see the sun coming up over Turquoise Lake or something, I
right.
mean, it's
Yeah,
always a special time.
yeah. Almost like nothing happened. And I'm like, woo,
Uh,
So
that's cool.
yeah.
Well, you've run, obviously, besides Leadville, and you've done some of these other races. You've had some other memorable races out there, man. I think you've run UTMB, you've run in Patagonia, among others. I mean, what stands out for you in some of these races that you've run?
Yeah, UTMB is, one of those ultra runners' dream race, right? So I try 3 times and I finished twice, and only one DNF on the 100-miler that I have is that UTMB
Mm.
once.
Yeah,
I got really sick and I think I overpaced and hypothermic at the same time. And from mile 20, I struggled through mile 75. So, and I was just throwing up, couldn't take anything in. And I think I was really close to cut off on a 50-mile, but I didn't even know. Then I left, and then about mile 75, I was like, I got there 6 minutes overtime. And that time I was so sleepy because mile 20 to mile 75, I almost had nothing on my stomach, right? It's more than 50 mile.
yeah,
And then, just get fatigued, sleepy, and all kind of stuff. Then I didn't make that cutoff for the aid station. And I was shocked to death, like first time DNF, DNF ever. Then I went back and did it one more time and I finished and everything. But
that's good.
um, yeah, UTMB is just so hard. It's the same 100 miles, but 46 and a half hours to finish. So challenging. The mountain is so huge and yeah, it's just so amazing. And Patagonia race is a little bit different approach. I excuse me. I read in advance there's a lot of muddy spot that you have to run
Right?
water crossing too. So yes, I probably run like knee-high mud about maybe 20 to 30 miles.
Oof.
So like crazy, and then you have to go across the glacier too. And and then you got kind of boring, just straight road around, and you go through the you know, cow poops around there and just go through. It's a
Right.
really different kind of race. But, it's a little different. Everything is different. And then it's not like well prepared aid station like US or Europe. So there's almost nothing. You go to the aid station, there's a pickup truck there. They give you a like whole apple and or like a little tiny bitty candy bar. That's it.
Right.
And but that's what you have. Have you
Oh,
gotta
it
do with
works for
it.
you. You don't eat anyway. So,
Right, exactly. So stuff like that. And of course, lots of people quit, middle of it.
right.
And I stay with it and finish the race. I got second place, female overall, but it was
Nice.
few people finished, one of those races.
Yeah.
It was destination, race. I wanted to go to Patagonia, Chile. It was fun time. So it was great, really great experience. And another one I run, another country is, Mount Fuji.
Oh, yeah.
So that was 2014. They changed the course after that, but that was going around Mount Fuji, one loop. Um, it was uh, it was fun. It's on my own country, and all those aid station food is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What's different that they have over
yeah.
there?
Okay, so here you go to aid station, they have just the same thing, right? Like maybe peanut butter sandwich, M&Ms, bars and gels. But Japan, you go through all those aid station. Japan have their own like signature food whenever you go to small town. So
Yeah.
they have those yummy, their signature food for the aid station. So one station, you go, there's like noodles, and you
Okay.
go another place, there's like a mochi little cake stuff. Or if you go to other places, they have their signature cookies or whatever it is, or udon noodles, So it's kind of gourmet, aid station
Yeah.
everywhere. So I
Oh,
enjoy that, yeah, when you go there.
yeah. Oh, wow. I've heard it's a really tough race, but I mean, one of the things I loved the most in Japan was the food there is amazing. And I was thinking before you started describing the foods that it's like, man, you get ramen at an aid station in the U.S. It's crappy packaged stuff, and I'm thinking, oh man, I hope they have like really good ramen in the aid stations at Mount Fuji. And as you mentioned, they've got ramen or they got udon
Okay.
noodles. I mean, I bet it's amazing.
Yes, they have a real food, like a
Yeah.
really good one. Yeah. And then one place is you get the first aid station was like their signature udon noodle. And all those people going like, hey, can I have that udon? Like you like, it's really, really fun. And I'm
Right.
doing it with all those men who's doing it. And I started laughing so hard. I almost choked myself. And
Right.
yeah, it's just so fun.
Yeah. Oh man. Now I'm tempted. I mean, I always thought, that one sounds pretty hard. I mean, I do want to go back to Japan and I had such a great time there last fall, and I think a perfect excuse would be to go back and run a marathon. I mean, it
Right.
doesn't have to be Tokyo. I know that's hard to get into, but I know it's kind of a marathon crazy culture over there.
It
So
is, yeah. There's
that's
a lot of runners.
yeah.
So you went last fall. Where did you go?
Specifically in Japan, we were in Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, Hiroshima, and what's the Miyajima, which is right
Oh,
outside
okay.
Hiroshima. Oh man, it was fantastic over there.
Were you just a tour, like sightseeing stuff? Mostly
So
sightseeing.
it wasn't a tour. Basically, I went with two 24-year-olds. We just
Okay.
went over there with backpacks and we just winged it.
Oh,
We had no plans whatsoever. And so, what I would do every morning is I would wake up and I would go run throughout wherever we were. And by the time I got back, the 24-year-olds weren't even out of bed yet. Uh,
yeah.
But I would say, hey, I saw all these places before the tourists got there, and when we would go back to some of those places afterward, but I would get to see all these places before it got too crowded and experience some of the shrines and the temples. And one day actually did a really good hike with somebody who I coach over there who lives in Yokohama, and
Yeah,
just so beautiful. We had such a great time there. It was amazing. Just it is a culture that is so different from ours, even though it's a
yeah,
first world country. It's not like
right,
a third world country where you expect things to be very different because they're poor. But Japan was just like, my God, it's so many people here, and everything just works really well here. And
right.
it's things like how clean it was. I was just constantly blown away by the fact that you couldn't find a piece of trash anywhere, and yet there isn't a trash can anywhere to be found. They just take their trash home with them. It was just amazing.
That's great. My my next dream that I have, I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but I'm gonna try, is after I retire everything, move back to Japan, northern Japan that I'm from, and maybe do a little bit in breakfast there,
Yeah.
and invite all my friends from here, take into the trail running or like skiing or fishing, stuff like that. So that's my next dream.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
very cool.
you're invited too.
Awesome. Thank you. You know what? Be careful if you invite me because I may take you up on.
Yes, I like that. I like that. Yeah. So, yeah, that would be my next kind of dream.
Right. Oh, how cool. Are you a skier as well, or do you do?
I used to ski a lot before I started running.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Right now, I don't really ski because of this running thing.
Yeah, I know it is tough to do both, and
Yeah,
it's kind of like my golf game's kind of gone to hell because I find like training for like the Leadville 100, for instance, is just and playing golf is just not compatible. They just both of them.
exactly. Can, right? Yeah, but if I go there, I can ski, I'm sure, But snowshoeing stuff, yeah. I mean, just the time consuming to drive out there and skiing and traffic jam and stuff, so I stop
Yeah,
skiing.
yeah. No, I get you. That's the nice thing. I get to go up and ski during the week, so
That's
it's a
nice.
little
Yeah.
less crowd. And I bought a, Nordic ski setup, so I
That's
want to
nice.
start getting better at that because there you don't have to deal with all the traffic necessarily. So I figured, and that's a great workout, of course.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten into any other sports?
Um, when I was younger, I did a little bit of scuba diving.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Yeah. But I'm not good with the water. So I just did it because everybody's doing it. So I did it maybe a couple years.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
the natural question I always get, and you probably do too, is like, well, have you ever done triathlons? And I'm like, no, because I'm not really that interested in the swimming part.
Yeah, swimming parties. I tried to be better at it in practice, but it's not my thing.
No. No, swimming's
Okay.
something to me, you see those shirts that say, like cross country teams wear shirts that say, our sport is your punishment. Well, I look at swimming the same way. It's like if I'm injured, that's what
Yeah.
I end up doing. I have to swim, so it's my punishment.
So yeah, for now, yeah, just running, maybe possibly biking, but I'm all trying to retire from biking too.
Yeah, there you go. So actually, that kind of leads me to a good question: is what do you achieve, or what do you attribute your longevity to, or your ability to not stay injured with an incredible volume of things that you do?
Right. To be honest, this year I have a little bit of sciatic hamstring problem, but for long time, I did a lot of strength training. And because my job was to teach exercise classes and then I train clients and stuff. So I've been doing a lot of those strength training and to the like individualized training, so
Yeah,
you don't really injure. So we work on more for the joint, or like range of motion and muscular endurance stuff, a lot of balancing, some plyometrics. So those things has been helping me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a
Yeah.
big believer in that kind of stuff, and I recommend it to the athletes I coach as well, the ancillary things as I call it. I mean, as I've gotten older, I've had to do a lot of that stuff too. I mean, I'm that injury guy who's always having surgeries, as people know, but I'm a big believer in recommending my athletes do core work and what kind of weightlifting, whether it's body weight or weight room, whatever. A lot of hip and glute strengthening, hamstring strengthening. I mean, I'm a big believer in all that too. So
Yes,
that's work for
definitely.
you as well, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's what even when I coach runners, I always give them some, strength training menu and then there's some, additional, glue workout,
Right.
glutes, the hamstrings work and core work. And I usually, give them and go with that running program. So
Good.
yeah, I'm a big believer.
Well, good. We're on the same page then, and
Yeah,
if
that's
for
great.
you, it should work better for me. So that's cool.
Who
Um,
you coach? Like you coach a runner?
yep, I coach. I've got individual runners I coach, literally around the world, and then I'm also a coach with Rev Running, Revolution Running. If you're familiar,
Oh, okay.
you're.
Yeah, yeah, Revolution. Do they came out the DVD one year.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm
Revolution
not.
Running. Well, maybe not that that I think that DVD is called Revolution Running. Maybe different than things. So is that Revolution Running is coaching organization?
It's not a coaching organization. It's more of a running group,
Ah,
and
running group. Okay. Yeah.
Ewan North started that. He's an English guy originally, and there are groups that run in Denver, Littleton, Boulder, Longmont, East Boulder, I think. So various groups, and so we get together on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays to run.
Oh, okay.
They're it's very social,
Okay.
and so but it's fun for me because I coached high school cross country for more than three
Oh,
decades. So it's nice for me to be able to coach adults instead of kids every now
right.
and then. So yeah, so it's just kind of a little side thing to do and enjoy
Okay, that's awesome.
helping out
Yeah.
adults to obviously get better and have a good time running.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Feel free to join us if you'd like.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you very much.
absolutely. But Junko, this has been awesome to talk with you here.
Thank you
I,
so much.
I've tried to to kind of touch on a lot of different areas, but what have I possibly missed here?
Mm, I don't know.
All right.
I don't think. Once in a while, later on, you feel like, oh, I should have said that. I should say that.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, we don't want to. That's why I asked the question, so we don't do that.
Right.
We have here, we have, whoops, I just dropped her. I judged the cat here just now, but
Oh,
she just fell off the table here.
oh, hello.
Um, yeah, but named after Aaron Judge, who
Oh, that's
hopefully,
what I thought you
yep,
did.
hopefully he can figure something out here tonight.
I'm afraid he's gonna hit big one today.
He'd better. I
Yeah, he has not been hitting, so I'm like live chatting with my friend in Japan,
right,
and she and I like, oh, Judge gonna hit big,
right,
all afraid of it.
yeah. He's got it. I mean, we are so fed up with him in New York right now with how poorly he's been hitting in the playoffs. So he is due.
Yes, he will do it.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. As I mentioned off air to you, I was so excited. I wanted to go see a Japanese ball game when I was there. And we were there last fall and the playoffs were going on, and we're always in the wrong city.
Oh
The
my God.
city we were in, I mentioned all those cities. Their team was always playing on the road in the playoffs at the time. So I know the atmosphere behind Japanese baseball is so different. I just wanted to
So
see.
it's so different. And then so, one of my actually client went to Japan and I met with them. I went back to about the same time, but they went to baseball game, Yokohama Stadium. And
Yeah,
then they saw the one Tigers, Japan Tigers play. They loved it. They just hooked on it.
right.
Yeah, they say Japanese audience is totally different.
No, that's what I always see, and I really want to see that. The Hiroshima Carp, I'm familiar with.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hiroshima Cup. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and just a week ago, actually, I was in Barcelona, Spain, and
Oh,
I always wanted to see a European soccer game.
okay.
Because I know the atmosphere is different. So I got to see FC Barcelona play.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, it was so cool because, this is one of the legendary teams. I mean, they and Real Madrid are kind of like the Yankees and the Dodgers of Spanish
Right.
soccer. So to see one of those, great teams like that and see some of those star players I saw playing in the World Cup a couple of years ago was very cool.
How nice. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another reason why I have to go back to Japan, though, is to
Right. You
see
need
a
to go
Japanese
back.
baseball game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely you need to go back.
Yeah, but as I mentioned to you before, I have a Yakult Swallows shirt, the team that put.
Yes, that's nice. That's
Yep.
nice.
Yep. That's, I'm sure if when I wear it around here, people have no idea what I'm wearing, but still,
But people notice sometimes.
yeah, no, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, hey, Junko, where if people want to, participate with your coaching, have your great body of experience help them achieve some impressive, epic goals. Where can they reach out to you?
Okay, you can reach out to me at boundless.com and you can see me in the list of the coach, or you can simply email me kickingjk@gmail.com.
Say that once more time.
Kickingjk, KICKINGJK @gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Okay. And then I know you're prolific out there in the social media world. So,
Yes, you can contact me on the social media. Run, Junko, run.
right. Okay.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, hopefully some people will, like I say, take advantage of your vast body of knowledge now, and obviously all the other people enjoy Junko Mountain Training.
That would be nice. I
Yeah,
would like to.
absolutely. Good. Well, hey, like I say, this has been an honor to a local legend around here, and probably a legend around the world as well. But like I say, I know we've crossed paths many times, and it's just such an honor to be able to sit down and talk with you face to face. I hope you start feeling better here real soon.
Thank
Uh,
you so much.
although I'm hoping actually the upset stomach you have in races, uh, the same kind of thing will happen when you're watching the Yankees-Dodgers series. I know I've had like an ulcer for the last two
Right.
games. So bad watching those games, but hey, our teams are there, which is great.
That's great. Yes, let's cheer.
Yep. We'll be doing that tonight, tomorrow night, next night. So,
Yes,
but
sounds good.
thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great evening.
Okay, bye-bye.